This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to another spectacular rising of the sun all the way here from the African bush. Seems like it's going to be a hot day today. It's already warm in the morning and the winter jackets are starting to feel like an overkill. My name is Ali and on camera with me today is Darren. We're very excited to have everyone on board. Now, we're not too sure about the plans for the morning. We're still thinking about our ideas, but if you've got a specific plan for us that you'd like to let us know where you want us to go, you can send all of your questions and comments via the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter. You can tag at FC on the YouTube chat. You can subscribe or register to the WildEarth channel and send your questions there. Or if you're under 18, please send your questions on kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. Seems like the sun is just starting to touch the horizon, and it's quite funny because it's only going to start getting earlier and earlier the time that we're going to be seeing the sun coming up. At the moment, about between 5:45, 5:30, that's when it gets light, and then in the deep of summer, sometimes it's around about 4:30 or 4:45. So our summer days are starting. Let's see what curveballs the universe sends us this summer, but for now we can just enjoy the beautiful sunrise. Oh, there's nothing like the pretty colors, and we have some whiskey clouds in the sky above us, so it should be a beautiful day today. Let's see, I think my first plan for today is just gonna head down towards southern parts of Juma, go around Treehouse Dam, and then just check around there to see if any lions found the buffalo from last night. And if not, then we'll just take it from there and figure it out. But onwards and forwards. I am driving Wendy today. It feels a little bit strange, I won't lie. But while we find our way to Treehouse Dam, let's have a look at what the weather is going to be doing today.
Good morning everybody. We are sitting at Juma Dam, just taking in some of the morning sounds, and also, like Ali, waiting for that big yellow thing in the sky to turn up. But welcome, my name's John T. We got Morgan on camera. It's so good to be back on Juma. I'm very excited to come and explore and see what we can find this morning. We haven't heard much so far. Just some Cape turtle doves. We had a brown-hooded kingfisher with us for a few moments, but we just want to sit here. There were reports that there was a young male leopard around this dam during the night. So I just want to listen for a little bit and see if we get any clues. Otherwise I want to work this area a little bit, see if we can find some tracks that'll lead us to the Prince of Cats. I can't believe how, I was just saying to Morgan how the water levels dropped since I was last here. This is getting to a really good time of year. It's a great time of year because water becomes like a bit of a magnet, so I'll definitely be checking out the water holes, hopefully get some good elephant action over the next few days. Thanks very much everybody, it's very cool to be back. We'll have to dust off the old story cabinet and see if we get some good stories over the next few days. We're just going to sit here for a couple more minutes. You're going to head over to Pridelands and say good morning to JP.
Good morning and welcome to WildEarth. We're live at Eco Training Pridelands and we're about to start our walk from Leopard Dam. Our plan is to do a circular route this morning, and our walk will go from here towards Red Earth and back to the dam. So my name is JP Leroux, and behind the camera we've got Craig. One of the things that I normally like doing is walking around the dam in the morning and just check which tracks are coming in and out. And this helps me in my decision making to decide what we're going to follow up on and which animals have been seen close by into the area. It's also a great spot to start birding. There's a number of hornbills that I can hear in the background, as well as bearded woodpecker that's drumming away on the hollow part of a tree, advertising its territory. And in the distance, one of my favorite small herons, a bird that's known as a green heron, also known as a straw-hatted heron, and some books they refer to them as green-backed herons. This is still a young bird, unlike the adult that has a very distinct plumage that separates it from the young ones. I do find them quite fascinating, as they're one of the very few bird species on the planet that actually uses tools in the process of catching its prey. One of the things that they'll do is in public parks, they'll often pick up pieces of bread or throw that into the water, especially where geese has been fed. And in the wild, they normally will take insects or feather to throw into the water. And they'll repeatedly do that little action of throwing things into the water to attract fish within striking distance. We're also just going to wait for our sunrise, and then from there on we'll be moving out. Good morning, Judy. Yes, it is beautiful, and it's going to become even better. Sun is just coming through the trees now, and once that's lifted, it's going to create an even brighter pink reflection on the water. We also got a pretty sunrise with the cirrus clouds that are in the background. Those cirrus clouds are generally clouds that are associated with warm conditions and warm front conditions, and warm fronts are always followed by cold fronts. And by tomorrow, we'll probably experience a little bit cooler weather for the low-veld region after having a few 31 degrees Celsius days. Some of the other birds that we're hearing in the background, some crested franklins with their typical pump handle call that they produce. So for those of you who like donkey bridges, that's an easy way of remembering the call. There's also a number of green woodupus calling in the background. We refer to them generally in African language as shlekabafasi, chattering old ladies, as they're constantly chattering. There's also another group of birds chattering to the other side, which is known as arrow-marked babblers. Well, we're just going to wait for our sunrise and sit here a little bit longer, and then from there on start heading out.
Well, the sun has just broken over the crest, and we just want to take this moment, just take in all these morning sounds. It's such a beautiful moment.
Well, look who's decided to come onto Treehouse Dam. Perhaps a bit upset about the fact that all the buffalo were here yesterday. He's now decided to come back and just make sure that everything's still in order. I'm not sure which hippo this is. I suspect he's the one that's been hanging out at Gowrie Dam. We do know that hippos like to or can jump from one dam to the next, and seeing there's no competition or other males around here, I suspect that might be the guy that we were looking at earlier. I think we used to call him Scuba Steve, the hippo at the Treehouse Dam, and he used to be quite shy, or at least back in the day there was a hippo here that didn't really like stardom, so whenever we would come about he would just go underwater, and if he felt like we were watching it, he would just stick its nostrils up and then just grab some air and then just put them back down. Definitely didn't want to feature, but this guy is a little bit more relaxed and he's put his head up a couple of times while we've been here. So what I suspect happened is he was feeding somewhat throughout the night, and as the sun started rising, perhaps he just found himself around this area and then decided to go in, which is not a bad spot. Maybe it is Scuba Steve just putting its nostrils up there. It's very hard to tell individual hippos apart, and it's actually even very hard to distinguish between male and female if you see them all together in a pod. They are very similar in terms of their sort of features and their morphology. I don't know if that's a word you can use with animals, actually. But anyway, physically they're very similar, and it's just weight that most people use to distinguish the difference between the one and the other. Now, we're assuming it's a male because it's by itself. Normally the females will have a young calf with them, and they tend to live in pods with other hippos. So that's where our train of thought has gone. As with our hippo, it's just decided it might even be Scuba Steve. Really unfriendly, he doesn't want to be on camera. Perhaps this is you see, all I have to do is say the magic words and they'll get upset and come out. I wonder if perhaps them keeping their nostrils up, it's just a forewarning of how hot the day is going to get. As we were saying yesterday, we had a very misty morning. It looked kind of eerie and cold, and this morning I even thought about wearing shorts for the morning, which is quite an achievement for me. So, hello hippo. Have you seen any cats around here? Anyone come for a drink besides all of the buffalo? Seems like all the buffalo tracks carry on, so I'm gonna potentially they've crossed already over on on Gowrie Main, and then they've just moved up in that direction. So we're gonna leave the hippo, carry on with our search, see if we can find anything else around this area. And I'm conflicted between trying to get a nice view of the hyena den. I suspect the mornings are going to be better at the den because the den is actually in a spot with no shade whatsoever. So if it gets very hot in the morning and in the afternoon, I doubt that there will be much happening there. And of course, going and searching for Tandy and Mareebs. So just kind of waiting for a sign from the universe, or you guys, if you want to let us know where you want us to go, then we can make a decision from there. So if you've got any particular thoughts about it, just use the hashtag WildEarth or @FC. Beverly, seems like you'd like to see some hyenas. I think many people would like to see hyenas, and it would be great if they were together. So just make sure that you let FC know, and I'm sure they'll pass on the information for us. And seeing most of the world lives by a democracy, we'll go with the opinion of the majority. Seems like Junty is enjoying a bumble up around another area, and I do know that he's Shasha was seen on the dam cam, so fingers crossed he'll bump and have some signs of that beautiful leopard.
Thank you, Ali. We heard absolutely nothing. Well, we heard birds, we didn't hear. I was hoping to hear a leopard calling. So I'm just kind of driving away from the dam now, just checking the road for some footprints. But just enjoying the morning. It's yesterday was cooking temperature-wise, so it's nice now that it's actually, this is perfect. It's so nice and cool. Hopefully we find something on the move, someone on the move. it was quite quite cool. On Saturday, I went with my family into Kruger National Park. Whoa! Just for the day, and my wife actually pulled off a blinder of a spot and spotted a leopard, which was so cool. Having worked in private reserves, and you get to know all these sort of characters and individuals. Now to see one that you know nothing about is very exciting. But while we were stopped there, a car came past, and a lady in the car said, "You Jonty from WildEarth, and that's your child." So it was cool, and I don't know your name, so if you're watching, it was very cool to meet you briefly in the lineup at the Leopard. But that was pretty funny. I want to go check this little watering hole. While we keep sniffing around, seeing what we can find, you're going to head back to JP.
Welcome back to Bushwalk. We are still at Leopard Dam, just enjoying the sunrise and listening to all the different sounds. So it's quite important for us just to sometimes stop and listen to hear what's going on in our environment. And sounds such as hyena, leopard and lion and the breaking of branches can very quickly indicate which animal species are in the area. Things that we quite often miss when we're just driving around. We're just going to allow for a little silence segment and for you to enjoy the beautiful sunrise. Good morning, Michelle, and welcome to the show. Yes, it is absolutely breathtaking. And as I always say, you can never get tired of a sunrise and a sunset, especially with a beautiful yellow and golden coloration that's bouncing off the water.
I have a degree in environmental planning and development. My passion is outdoor classrooms. We are not only grooming the environmentalists of tomorrow, but tomorrow's leaders as well. My long-term goal is for the people of South Africa to learn how to live sustainably, to be able to look after themselves and the environment. So I hope that through environmental education, we are able to get that message to the future generation of South Africa so that they start now and can continue that good practice in the future. Environmental education is critical so that people can live sustainably in the future. That is my long-term goal.
Being nominated to the top 5 and finally being here, for me it's an achievement. Tracks, I believe I did quite well, and the walk.
And sometimes you often drag their feet forward.
The storytelling as well. So yeah, I think that's where I see my strongest point.
And then, that was the opportunity of the scrapping.
I say the bedding and the call, definitely for me, it was quite a big challenge. Guiding is not all about the award that we have had, but in sharing the experience and continue to do what we have passion and love.
Something very, very interesting. I didn't plan this, but this is a scene, rarely seen. This is what we call a journey of giraffe. So beautiful.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
Okay, so we have not managed to find a leopard yet. I said to Morgan we're going to go check Sandy Patch, find Tavangumi. That'll be a real spoil, but what's cool is as we've been driving I've seen lots of buffalo dung, lots of sign. I believe they were seen yesterday. But it is amazing to see how the buffalo herds have recovered. A few years ago there was quite a bad drought and the buffalo numbers were affected massively, so it's very cool to see them doing well. Not at Djuma recently, because I've only been there for one night now. But there was a leopard very close to camp where I was driving a couple of weeks ago. A little bit further south at Mala Mala, a leopard came through the camp, which is very cool. It actually caught a scrub hare inside the camp and moved it out. It's actually a very, very cool story. It's a female leopard whose mother died when she was 12 or 13 months old. She actually got killed by the southern Avoca male lions, and her brother then obviously cast into the big wide world a little bit sooner than they would have been, and the young male unfortunately didn't survive. But the female, who's now known as the Three Rivers female, has survived and flourished and has actually got cubs of her own. And so for me it was super cool to see her again, even though she was in the camp. Maybe a bit too close. Victor, what's the longest time I've spent tracking a leopard? There's some tracks that I've had to just leave on the road because we've been tracking for hours and hours and not found them. But sort of with guests, probably about 5 hours, but I definitely can't take any of the credit. I was working with a tracker, and he was on and off the car, and we were driving around loops, but yeah, probably about 5 hours that we stuck with the same leopard. But I actually think I've just spotted some leopard tracks here now. I just want to reposition the car so I can try and figure out what's going on here, and maybe we'll set a new record. But where did they go? Leopards are amazing. They'll leave some tracks that are so easy to see, and then I swear they jump off of the road so that you can't find them. So I'm just going to hop off the car so I can try and figure out what happened here. It's amazing. Here they are clear as day, and then from the last one, nothing. So I'm just going to walk behind the car and just check behind here. Yo. They're definitely going the other way. I think it actually lay down on the road here. I think it lay down here and then it's got up and carried on going behind us. So I think we must do a loop and see if we can find it. So while we carry on here, let's head over and look at some clips from an upcoming expedition in the Masai Mara.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
Alrighty, so it seems like
There's nothing on our side.
For Ngala?
Yeah.
No, not. I haven't checked this area yet. I've just come across the tracks here.
Yeah, I see they were chasing Buff.
Yeah, and then, but I think they headed into there. I'm just gonna, so just to keep everyone up to date, we have found some lion tracks, because of course when you're on your way to look for two other species, then you get the third one thrown into the mix. But if you look here, we've been following the tracks all around. So if you see just depressions here on the soft sand, not the clearest tracks, but the cool track that I wanted to show you guys is actually this track over here. So you see the lion was sitting down like this, so the paws would have been here, and then the back of the legs here, and then this is the tail, which is quite nice. So you see the tail would have been moving here, and then it's created these depressions, and then the two legs here. So I think what happened last night, I'm not too sure what pride of lions this could be, but judging by the area that we're in, oh, okay, let me just go in. We can hear them. Alrighty, thank goodness. I'm gonna turn around. It seems like the lions have been chasing buffalo the whole night. So let's have a look. Hopefully we'll be able to find them. You say good karma always pays off. So we were with two of the guides from Arethusa, and they've mentioned that they can see them. I haven't been able to. Are they after the Nyari? Okay, shot, thanks. Alrighty. Well, that was an unexpected turn of events. Straight in. I haven't been able to see them, but the guys managed, because we found the tracks and then we called them in because they were going up and down the road. There I see them, and I see a male. Ah, little cubs. This must be the Nkuhumas then. Oh my god, sorry, apologies for getting excited and using the wrong words, but look at all those little cubs. Oh, I am so excited. Wow. All right, let me just put, oh, you guys also looking quite full. Did you eat a buff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubs. Well, they're definitely eating something. Whew. My God, my heart is speeding. Look at that sight. Guys, we've missed you. So happy to see all of you. Oh, I think my hands are shaking. I'm so excited right now. I haven't seen the Nkuhuma Pride of Lions in a very long time. They've kept their cubs sort of just outside of our traverse, and then just to see them all here, I'm not too sure what they're eating. Perhaps they caught one of the buffalo from earlier on, but this is quite exciting. It was funny because we first saw tracks and I was like, oh, I mean, that looks like a leopard track or maybe a very small lion. But remember, Darren, we were talking, I was like, but in disbelief, I was like, no, the Nkuhumas don't come this way anymore. But just as you say this, of course, everyone surprises you. Goodness, what a time. And it was funny enough, so we had to stop and we were talking to the guide and the tracker from Arethusa because they were not too far from us. So we were discussing, you know, because if the lions are on their side, then we want to know. And then if they're on this side, they want to know, because then it just allows everyone to kind of have an idea of what's actually going on. And we were looking at the tracks and one of them actually heard them on the kill. And then they started looking around and they were like there. So it's a good thing. Oh. Someone's a bit upset with the food. Can't see how many lions altogether around here. There are a few. I can't go forward, which would be ideal because we've got a very sleepy and full lion in front of us, but I'm sure you can hear all the meowing of the cubs upset because they also want to eat. Let me see if I can I'm gonna try and move around, see if we can get a better angle. Just call it in. Oh, look at those little heads. Isn't that the most beautiful view? I mean, I'm gonna stop here for 1 second, just so we all have, again, this stunning view that greeted us. Catherine, I feel like my heart is melted away entirely. Did not expect this surprise for the morning, but incredibly happy to be spending time not only with lions, but with the Nkuhumas, whom I haven't seen for at least 2 years, I don't think, because they've just sort of moved off the area and then they've carried on going down. Well, at least we were onto something following up on those buffalo. I'm gonna have to call this in on the radio. But thankfully, today's Monday, so not too many people around. So I'm sure we'll be able to spend some quality time with all the lions. Oh, that's beautiful. Station's located in Nkuhuma, Ngala, on Abamba, just off Gowrie Main, close to Little Gowrie old driveway. It's just a tree. I have to do a bit of a longer turn. What are you guys eating? Doesn't even look... Oh, that's a pool. I thought maybe it was a young buffalo. Let's see. Maybe we'll be able to have a look. Oh, something just attacked me in the face. Okay, this is a better view, I think. Look at that. What a way to start the week. What a way. This is amazing. Oh, I've got 2 male lions. I'm not sure who they are actually, because they look pretty big manes. I can hear the little ones complaining. They want food. Are you guys the Avoca? You don't look like dark mane. Oh. Shame, she really doesn't want to allow them to nurse. Whew. Oh, these cubs are looking in fantastic condition. Look how well fed they are. Very grumpy. This is a very nice surprise indeed. Did not expect them to be out here this morning. I mean, we were kind of hoping, and we've been trailing that buffalo herd for a couple of days in the hopes that a pride of lions would actually come with them, but I think we all kind of expected the Talamatis to be there. And look at this. Ooh. Welcome back home, guys. We've missed you. There's so much happening right now. The males are dominating what's left of the kill. I actually can't see what it is. I will suspect buffalo. The little ones are upset because they want to feed. And the mother won't let them. And then somebody's playing with a piece of bone. So look through binos. Maybe we'll be able to see what it is that they're eating. Well, at this stage I can't really tell. It just looks like a lot of meat. Perhaps they caught a young buffalo or a younger buffalo. Just to be able to keep all these lions fed for such a while, I would imagine that it had to be something a little bit bigger. I don't think anyone copied about the lions. Oh, look at that mess of cubs. That's adorable. Did anyone copy about the Nkuhuma Ngala? sure they didn't.
Yeah, thanks. Any confirm they're on Little Kalahari?
Negative, they're on Juma side.
Oh, thank you very much. We would like to respond, but we found out previous at least Dam at the moment.
Copy, you can make your way. The little ones are also here.
Fantastic. What's the best approach? Is it from Triple M?
Just come on Gary Main from Twin Dams towards the west.
Copy.
Actually, I don't know in between what roads we're in. Don't remember. Shabamu, Gary Main, Twin Dams, Trios Dam.
So we are going to towards Chelapan. It feels like a good place to go and check. See if something's going to get a little drink to start or finish the evening, start the day. Might even just go for coffee. Now Morgan and I need coffee and rusks. The more coffee, the more rusks, the more animals you'll find.
Okay, copy. Thank you so much. Yeah, please here at Elephant Kaka, the coast is still going straight to the east, and then after I will booyah and carry on following the trend.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. At the moment we are looking at the tracks of a leopard and where it was lying up and waiting in ambush last night. Here we can see the tracks of a leopard again, and we can also see tiny nail markings in the track, which means this is where it was about to pounce. As we started following the tracks, we also noticed that it must have killed a impala. And we see that it must have killed it right against the water's edge over here and then dragged it off. We also very quickly noticed that there was a number of hyena tracks that appeared, and that the carcass was then dragged off by the hyenas into this direction. As we started following it, we've also noticed tiny little droplets of blood right over here, as well as... And here we can also see how the carcass of the impala was being dragged into this area directly over here. We can see some of the hair that's most likely from the tail right over here. And then it was disemboweled over here to make it much lighter. And from here we also notice that there's even further blood spoor as well as some of the intestines. And then as we continued, we managed to find the final remains of this impala ram. So we quite often find that leopards will make kills and that hyenas will then scavenge it from them. They also quite often line up very close by to them and focus on what their movements is and listen to the alarm calls. Good morning, Lucy, and welcome to the show. There's quite a few of them over here at the moment. I haven't counted the numbers yet, but I would suspect that there's at least 7 that I know about. And then if we come right over here, we can see this is where the remainder of the impala was consumed. We've just got jaw bones and a few bone fragments over here. And here we've got the horn of an impala ram. So at least we know that it was a male that was taken. It's also interesting when leopards decide to make a kill on impala, they will decide if it's male or female. If it's a female, they will directly bite at the back of a nape so that they can sever the spinal cord. If it's a male, they generally go for the throat so that they can puncture the throat as well as suffocate it. It's always a risk of horns at the back, that horns can injure you. We also find that predators will generally not put a lot of risk in to actually killing animals, and therefore they're generally looking for weak or sick or old or very young, inexperienced animals. We also find that when it comes to competition between leopard as well as hyenas, the leopard will put up a little bit of a fight, but not too much, because it can't risk injuring itself, especially as a solitary animal. If you are injured, it will mean that you can't successfully hunt, and therefore it's best to move off and go and find something else to kill. So it's for me absolutely amazing how much goes on at these dams at night time. So we're going to go and look at what else we can go and find from the morning, and let's see what Ali is up to.
No. There's so much happening right now. The little ones are clearly upset about the fact that none of the females are just willingly giving them milk. Then we've got obviously the dynamics of the pride, where they start eating and then some of them get upset, and then there's a bit of a growl. The 2 males are dominating what's left of the kill, and whoever managed to get a little bit of something, they're still trying to hold on to it. And those little growls that you're hearing, those are the young, the tiny, well, tiny, I would imagine that they're maybe about 4 or 5 months old now. But they are the ones that are making all the growling and all the noise. So the one female that was nursing them moved, and then they all followed in a straight line, and then she sat down and refused to nurse them, and now they're all going back to the pride. She's calling them.
Station from Cheetah Plains on first standby. What is your log?
Look at all those cubs. Oh.
Standing by.
Oh, my heart is so full right now. That is incredibly special what we're seeing right now. Incredibly special. So 15, it is incredible to see these cubs, and I mean just to see them all there. Luckily it seems like she called them in because she's willing to nurse some of them, but there's not enough space for all of them. So they're quite upset, actually, making lots of noises. Oh, look how feisty they are. Those are some very feisty cubs. These little ones are hungry. The female that walked away, she's coming back and she's contact calling softly. I think she's trying to get some of the cubs to come and nurse from her. Just trying to get all of them to come. Oh, okay. Taman, not sure what the survival rate of lion cubs is in Juma. I mean, most of the sort of big cats that we've got around here, they've got between 60 and 80% survival rates. It's, for a lot of lions, it's not only the first part of life that is hard, but especially for the males, is when they reach that stage where they've got to become independent and they go off looking for their own territory where to establish themselves, where things get tricky as well. So it's, I would say their survival rate around this area for the first year of life, it's always the hardest. So let's put it at maybe 60% or so, 60 to 70%. And then depending if they're male or female, things might get tougher a little bit later on in life. These are very grumpy cubs. So what likely happened is that the little ones, I'm sure they got some of the meat of whatever it is that they killed. However, I don't think they got, or they're not as full, and they clearly want milk. They're desperate for milk. But perhaps for the females it's a little bit uncomfortable being so full. And the problem is it's not just one, it's about 6 of them that come running if one of the females decides to nurse them. I'm sure they're gonna attack now. And go. That one was a clever one. And I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4 that have found a piece of meat. Oh, I forgot we had the one sitting right next to us. Standing by.
We've given our position to the guys from Seep. I thought they were closer, so we are now to the just off Triple M on Gallery Main, then on to Juma in this corner. How far down Gallery Main are you? To the west.
Just keep coming towards the junction with Shibamo. We're not too far.
Okay, now we'll stand by, yeah, we'll take that first stand by and then CP should be close. So just let us know, thanks.
Okay, copy that. Look at those little faces. Seems like things are starting to settle a little bit. At least they have found different moms, or perhaps their own mom that is nursing them. And then the rest of them have taken over a piece of meat. I don't know if it's a leg or a bone or what they had found earlier. But I think that's what they've got. So you can definitely hear that the growling by the little ones has subdued a lot. And it was incredible how feisty they all were when they were all trying to suckle from that female. But you see, even the males, you hear a deeper growl every now and again. Whenever anyone or other Pride members have tried to get closer to what it is that, or the part that they're eating, then there's a lot more growling. Lions, although it's amazing because they work together to bring... Okay. That was unfounded, I saw you. There's 2 cubs having a fight in there. And the one got very upset. At as I was saying, although they work together to bring bigger prey species down, it's never a sharing thing when lions bring down a prey. A lot of the times, you know, the leopards, or like Tandi, would bring Marieb's part of the kill, and then she'll let him feed and have his fill, and then when she wants to eat, then she'll probably just tell him off and then feed herself. But with lions, it's kind of a free-for-all when there's a kill, especially when there's something big. Everybody just tucks in and fights for that opportunity to actually be able to eat. So it's not uncommon when the little ones are off milk to lose weight and then look a little bit scrawny, almost and because they now have to start fighting with the rest of the pride for the rights to feed.
Hi, we are Yaku and Milani. We are from Gauteng in South Africa. We started watching WildEarth last year during the level 5 lockdown, and we've been watching ever since.
Being in nature is one of the greatest feelings. We absolutely love it. Our favorite thing about WildEarth is that the concept is so amazing. We have the benefit of having a wildlife safari in the comfort of your home, especially when you're not allowed to go out. Being part of the Wildlife Explorer program gives us a sense of giving back and contributing to nature. It just makes us feel good because we love it so much. We are so excited to be visiting Ngala. It is obviously, I think for most people, an absolute dream to visit the Masai Mara. We can't wait to go.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature.
We got there, he had probably moved a couple of 100 meters down the river and was about 10 meters from this causeway. So I radioed the lodge quickly and just asked them to bring a Land Cruiser around and some tow straps. So we thought we were going to try be heroes and save this giraffe. And now a big bull, probably over a ton, he's a big unit. Got the tow strap one side of the giraffe and managed to get it around him with the boat, and the other edge of the tow strap obviously back onto the bank. So we made this U around him because he was lying quite close to the bank. And we put that Land Cruiser in low range and we just gave it hell and pulled that giraffe, and the tow strap slipped up and we thought, oh no, it's going to slip off the top of the head, and it caught on his ossicones top. And that last 10 meters pulled him out onto the bank, and he battled. He was obviously quite weak and all that.
This is a battle of two great carnivores of the African wilderness. Whew. Whoa! You don't want to be under those jaws. Definitely, this round goes to the lion. Look at that. Fantastic.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Righty, seems like Blondie and Mohawk actually didn't catch a buffalo as we suspected. The younger boys fighting over the remnants of a leg, but it seems like they caught a giraffe. I'm not sure if a big giraffe or an old giraffe, but we could just see a leg of the giraffe. When they were feeding, they kind of bent it this way. So much commotion. See, it always pays up to go out early morning, and this is why morning drives are my favorites. Yesterday we knew there were no lions on the property, and then this morning off into the unknown, and what a surprise. Standing by.
Can I come join you now, guys? I'm close here now.
Affirmative, and Singa gave you the space to come.
Copy that. Ali, we thought they were ahead of us, so we're driving around here, Chloe's Road and so on. Just let us know. Thanks.
Okay, copy.
Yeah, I'll think we'll let you know when we're pulling out.
That is adorable. And who knows, maybe these lions are going to be big roarers one day, judging by the amount of noise that they're making. Bill, I agree. It's a very special moment indeed, not only to just come across and have all those tiny faces looking at us, but to see Mohawk and Blondie and the Nkahumas. It's crazy how the dynamics of the prides of lions have changed in the last maybe 3 years or so. The Nkahuma pride was the pride that was always on Djuma. They wouldn't leave Djuma. And now we see more the Talamatis and these guys, but they're in the fringes. So I wonder if last night they didn't hear perhaps the buffalo, and then they were attracted to the commotion, because the tracks show that they were following the buffalo and even perhaps chased them, but they've caught a giraffe. So I don't know if the giraffe just caught itself in the crossfire between the buffalo and the lions. Oh, those little ones got lucky. As I think he did think about it. I think he wanted to chase all of them off, but perhaps he doesn't see the young ones as that much of a competition that they're going to eat too much of his kill. He thought about it, definitely. Bigger lion? No. Little one? Fine. You see, lions are not great at sharing their food. Okay, guys. Maybe just taking frustration out on the other lion, but you see, it was interesting. Because there was a lot of aggression, a lot of noise, but when he went for the younger lion, it was just kind of to scare him off and teach him a lesson. He didn't bite the lion. He could have if he wanted to, and the other lion flipped straight on its back to show its belly and go into a submissive position straight away. So if these were lions going on a proper fight, he would have carried on attacking and biting the lion that was flipped on its back, and then the other one would have also bitten back. But I think in this case, it was more of a show of, just shouting at him and scaring him off, and then just reminding him who the actual bigger lion is in this pride. And then that lion, or that young female, just moved away. Young female? I think it's a young female. Not great at sharing. Little ones are definitely taking their chances. They're really hungry, as we've heard. They've been quite incessant, but they have managed to find a way into the kill to get their fill in there as well. Oh, but they're also going to be told off. I think that's the leg bone of the giraffe sticking out there. And if this is a little bit too much for some of our viewers, please just remember that you can go and make yourself a strong cup of tea. Perhaps that would be the way. It is unfortunate that we are seeing an animal that's died, but look how many little lives it's sustaining. So I suppose there's always a balance in everything. Seems like JB has managed to find himself some large animals, and I wonder what they are. A lot of commotion going on. I suspect it's getting hot. Some of them have gotten up and they're moving around, some of the adults. So I think they could be going for water at some stage. There's still a bit of the kill here, so I don't think they'll go too far. Maybe they're just looking for some shade. As we said, the sun is starting to come up. And there was a female with the cubs that seemed to be wanting to go maybe towards the dams. So maybe that's where they're going to head off in a little while. I'm kind of there. They have a couple of options from here, so I'm kind of hoping they'll stick around to the Juma options because we're not too far from the boundary with the main road. And there's a squirrel in the distance that's now realized that there's a pride of lions here. A little bit late to the party. Maybe it was the growling that gave it away. Don't seem too bothered by it. I suspected they managed to finish this giraffe. It wasn't a very big giraffe because the legs, the body, the neck, maybe it was a youngster, and the only youngster we saw yesterday was quite far away from here. But yesterday when we were talking about giraffes, well, lions are one of the main predators of young giraffes, even adult giraffes. I've seen them hunt and successfully bring down giraffes on a couple of occasions. Oh, that is quite a sight now. Nothing like getting hit on your, on top of your head by your own meal. But it's funny how the little ones are quite clever. They saw an opportunity. They're obviously hungry. We heard them. They saw an opportunity to go and feed on the meat, and then they've taken it. And you see, once they start eating, they go a little bit quieter. They don't really make. They don't get that loud. Whoop. Oh, what happened there? Somebody got upset and then everybody else got worried. The mini roars are just adorable. So special. Don't even know where I want to look, to be honest. There's just so much going on.
I don't know what to film.
Yeah, Darren also doesn't know what to film anymore. Can you see the one with the white belly on the right-hand side?
Direct me a bit.
Oh, okay, just...
I know, I'm joking.
Yeah, right there. We've got one that's decided he's done. It's tired. That was it. We can see that you've eaten quite a bit. Maybe he's gonna go for water. Well, we've just had, I think that's Mohawk just walk past by us, and he's looking incredibly full. So it doesn't seem like they didn't get their fill, just like the little ones. I am a bit worried that they're gonna all start moving at some stage. Maybe he's just going for water. And there are other people, of course, that want to come and view the sighting. So I think we had the best view possible, but I'm also going to make space for some other guys to come and have a look. I think maybe what I'm going to do is maybe just follow Mohawk, see if he goes for a drink, and then just allow other people an opportunity to come and view the cubs. And then, of course, once we're done, then we'll come back around this area and just stick around with them for as long as possible. But I think we've got to also be fair and share with the other ones, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to come back. Alrighty, I will just move off. We can follow Mohawk for a bit. Johan, for Ali Johan. Johan, you can make your way this side. I'll make space for you. I'll come back later when there's a gap.
So welcome back on board with Morgan and John T. We're just sitting watching this. Oh, I thought it was going to take off. This juvenile bateleur. Just wandering around the edge of this watering hole. It was picking up sticks now. I don't know, it looks like it's scratching through some old dung there. I'm not too sure this young bateleur knows what it's actually up to. Mm-hmm.
Well, Mohawk got distracted. He didn't make it to water. He just came and lied down next to this female. Who's having a very deep sleep at the moment. So if you see further from where they are, they're not far from the boundary. I'm kind of hoping that they'll stop looking in that direction and then that they'll just go towards Treehouse Dam or even Twin Dams at some stage. Treehouse Dam is a little bit closer, which would be great because then they would come a little bit further into Juma. But for now, I think it's been really lucky for us to spend time with them. I mean, I honestly don't even remember the last time I saw Blondie and Mohawk. Maybe when they've just arrived into this area after the Birmingham males left. So it's been great to meet new friends, but also get acquainted with some of the older friends, which is very nice. You see the bellies of these two lions, they're quite full. So I'm gonna guess that it was, if not an adult, I don't think an adult giraffe, because we would still see more body or more left of the body here, but perhaps not a really young giraffe.
You want finger for alive?
Alrighty. I see the guys are coming in.
I don't know, as I told you, she pulled out, so you're making away. Yes, thank you, yeah. We'll be coming down to the
Alrighty. I don't know.
That means it will be on September now.
Megan, I also love this pride and how healthy they're looking. It's actually quite a nice thing, and lucky for us, whoever it is that was coming hasn't arrived yet, so we can spend a little bit more time with them. It's not bad. Unfortunately, these guys, we've got, of course, other vehicles on the other side, but the little ones in them are further into June and you can't actually see them from the road. So, fingers crossed, positive vibes for Monday. We'll get all of them to stay in there and we'll enjoy their company again a little bit later on this morning and then, of course, this afternoon. And who was I talking to? I don't remember if it was Darren or Morgan the other day, and we were saying like, oh, you know, we really miss little lion cubs. We haven't seen them in such a long time. Because technically speaking, we could potentially classify Mareebs as a cub, although not really. He's past that age, but you know, now all we need is maybe Tlalamba to show us her little spots, and then we'll be quite happy. I mean, if she does even have cubs, which we don't know at this stage, she could potentially, but she's become quite an elusive cat. So we shall see. Tristan and I have a competition going at the moment because he's guiding some guests to see who's going to find more cats in the next couple of days. I wonder if I get brownie points for every lion. Oh, it seems like JB is following some big creatures. So let's head over to him and find out where the elephants are going to.
Good morning and welcome back on Bushwalk. We're going to be dead quiet and we're just going to try and focus on finding these elephants and keeping up with them. I don't want them to hear us because at the moment the wind is in our favor, as well as the strong light of the morning is in our favor. Let's just see where they go. I hope that they'll actually eventually will go down to the waterhole and go and drink where we can view them. There's one coming from our left. It seems like our same herd of last night, the bulls that we had, and they split it off. And what I found quite interesting is that they actually went very, very far south and east last night, and then they came back when we found them on the opposite side of the property on the western side. So they've been doing a lot of walking last night. Here we go. It seems that the dominant bull in that group has actually become aware of us. I just want to watch his body language to say what it does. The remainder of the group is, however, still mobile. Now that he turns his head, he's now looking in the same direction as the rest of the group. I think that they actually might be heading towards water. Let's just sit and watch them. Welcome to the show, Anna Marie. I'm not going to talk a lot, but yes, they're always awesome to find them on foot. They're such amazing animals. I just want to be dead quiet for the moment, that they can just move off without us making any disturbances or allowing them to hear us and then focusing on us. We just want to go and sit and watch these guys a little bit longer and see what they get up to. But in the meanwhile, let's go and see what Ellie is up to. I think she's just over her back on her with her lions.
Alrighty, unfortunately, we are leaving the lion sighting because a new vehicle came around. But we're at enough of a distance that we can have one last look at these guys over here. And I'm just gonna have to give directions. If you go in, then the rest of them are in there. Just this ones are this side, and then there's the little ones in there. You'll see where that one's coming from. They're just all of them in there. Nice to meet you face to face. No worries, it's a very nice sighting. Enjoy. Okay, let's have a look at what's happening here. Sorry guys, just keeping our friendships open. Okay, so we're gonna view them from the fire break, just some of them, because they've kind of moved in this general direction and I don't want to be too far in there, so I'm just giving everybody space. We'll have one last look and then perhaps go to Treehouse Dam. I know Tristan said that he had tracks for a young male leopard around there, so we'll just maybe see if we can get any luck in there. But what a sighting, and then we'll wait. We'll keep an eye out until the guys have sort of moved out the area and there's a gap for us again in there, and then we'll come back and then spend some more time with the lions. It's the young boys that want to be like their parents. Alrighty, let's move off. I think, what an exciting morning. Whew. Did not expect any of these. And those little heads, I think that's going to be when you have like a really good sighting and then you have those images that imprint in your brain. I think just arriving and seeing all those tiny little heads definitely will be stuck in my head for a very long time. That was incredibly special. So it seems like for now they have stopped moving onto the boundary, which is what I like to say. They're on our side. Because here on this road that we're on, this is, oh, what are you doing there, lion? Did you get lost? Well spotted, Darren. Darren's just spotted another lioness, a young female on this side. I actually didn't think to count them, all of the Nkahumas. I was so excited of just seeing lions. I don't know why she's here. Aratuza Mova on Garimain.
Right.
You come this side, there's one on Little Gari side.
Chop, thanks.
Alrighty. You can still hear the lions just having a fit everywhere. And I wonder why you're here, so far away from all your pride. This could have been the track that we actually saw earlier. Righty guys, it's getting a little bit crowded, so we're gonna get out of here and let other people enjoy the sighting.
Calling all WildEarth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah, as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
The scrap here collected a dry grass put it next to the water hole as the hippo walks down during the warm of the day to drink the water. When the hippo arrives, he saw a very nice grass, an area not to resist to rest. And when the hippo went down to drink the water, and when he finished the water, he just lied down on the grass. And then,
that was the opportunity of the scrappy.
You know what? Today is my day to pay the revenge.
Looks like it's a very difficult climb because every time it tries to climb, the ground is breaking, so it slides down. But it's the only one. Look at that. That is the call of desperation with the cub. It's like, what are you doing, mommy? Oops! Oof!
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Welcome back. You've gone from feeding lions to a jumble of sticks. So we're just looking, there was a chin spot batis, which is a small little bird that was in the screen and now it's hopped out. Which is a bit of a bummer. But that's fine. Oh, I thought, there, no, he just flew up again to the right. Did you see it? It's a horrible little bird. But I'll show you a picture in the book quickly. And where we are at the moment, we are busy waiting to hear a sound of birds alarming. That's why we stopped here. So we're following tracks. I don't know if you can.
Just saw me getting you through.
Oh really? Oh, there he's come on the left side. Oh no, he's gone. So you're going to have to deal with the book. I'll just rest it on the steering wheel here. That's who was there. That's quite a cool little bird, and sometimes you hear them calling. It sounds like the start of Three Blind Mice. So if you hear that, you know there's a chin spot batis nearby. So we got a report of some tracks. I don't know if it's the ones that we started following earlier, but tracks of a young male leopard that have actually crossed the road behind us into the drainage line. So we looped around and trying to see if they come out on this road. We're going to go forward a little bit more, and then if they see nothing here, I'm going to come back and I might actually have to go for a little walk and just see if he's crossed into that drainage line behind us. Let's hope. So while we keep searching here, you're going to head over and see what Ali is up to.
We are on the move for a little while, hoping to be able to return, and at least we could return the favor to. So when we were explaining to you guys earlier on about the tracks and the lion sitting down and so on, there was an Arathusa vehicle with us, and then they were the ones that we pointed towards where the new lion, or that young female lioness, was. But shame, I think she's injured her front right leg quite badly. There's no blood coming from it or anything, but it was actually very sad to see. We obviously didn't realize that she was injured when we called the other vehicle in. And thankfully, it's a very quiet day today in the sand, so not a lot of vehicles are going to come to her. And I think maybe that's why that older female was heading in that direction, or she was lying down there, and why Mohawk and them were looking that direction. She's not putting any weight on her front right leg. I don't know if it's broken. It definitely seems like it's sore. And it's very sad to see after, you know, such a good sighting, but I suppose hunting is never easy, especially animals like a giraffe. They've got a very powerful kick. So what I suspect happened was that maybe the giraffe got the youngster or something along those lines. Hopefully she'll be fine though. Lions are incredibly resilient creatures. And as we've seen, dark mane and the tailless female from the, well, not tailless, tipless tail female of the Talamatis, they've done quite well with life. So I'm hoping that this poor little female won't have to, she's one of the older ones, she's not a young one, but I'm hoping she will recover from it quite soon. I do not want to put her on camera though, because I don't want to add any pressure to her, and we've just left her. She's lied down, not too far from the rest of the pride, which is a good thing, but rather let's be sensitive to her and what she's going through. So we've made our way to Treehouse Dam. We're not too far. As I mentioned, there were tracks for, it seemed like a young male leopard that was coming from Twin Dams Road into this area, and we suspect maybe Shasha. But we haven't come across anything just yet, just a lot of lion tracks. So it's interesting because the lions were definitely quite far into Djuma yesterday. Not all the way to Treehouse Dam, but almost. I mean, this is an area that the Nkuhumas know, so it would stand to reason that they know exactly where they want to go. But it seems like maybe Shasha and the lions were kind of headed the same way. I haven't found any tracks yet, but we'll scratch around for a little bit, see if perhaps we can't see anything else that's around here. Although this would be a great spot for him to be right now with all this impala. Warming up earlier today. Right, doesn't seem like there's too much around here. I'm gonna go towards Elephant Carcass, perhaps scratch around there while we wait for some space to free up at the sighting of the lions. As you can imagine, and as one of the landowners mentioned, today was somebody's very last drive in this area, and they hadn't been able to see any lions. So, which is sometimes surprising, but it's the luck of the draw. Sometimes, you know that they are there, but they're just out of your reach. So glad we could help everyone. It's good to keep the bush karma out there, because we might need some help next time, and then they might be able to help us. So let's see where this young male leopard went off to. That way I can definitely beat Tristan for the morning in terms of cats. That would be lovely. Interesting that they went for a giraffe rather than the buffalo. It just goes to show opportunity. And oh, these buff were definitely here last night. Lots of buffalo dung all on the roads. So here's a male leopard track. Hello, where are you going? Going that way. So let's see where these male leopard tracks go off to. They're very much similar to the tracks that I was showing you guys earlier, but much smaller. So I suspect these are the tracks that they had from Shasha, and he probably already went this morning and had a drink. Now I just want to see where he goes from here. Might give us, I wouldn't be surprised if he heads into the Molowati. It seems to be the area that he likes, or maybe he just came from this area, or well, I had to start piecing together the puzzle because I know he was seen on the dam cam, so just got to figure out if this was before or after. Oh, it's so many buffalo. Lisa, not necessarily. I mean, I think the males probably cooperated too, seeing they've been hanging around with the females. The hunts tend to be initiated with the females even when the males are around, but sometimes, especially for bigger things like giraffe or buffalo, they tend to be more successful if the males actively engage in the hunt. So they are bigger, they can be lazier, but their added force or their added strength helps in bringing those animals down. And hunting a giraffe is not an easy thing by all means. Doesn't matter if the giraffe is old or young. They can kick very well and they're very fast as well. So it's not an easy feat. Darren was actually saying that he thinks maybe he filmed the giraffe that perished yesterday. They had 2 fully grown male giraffes, and well, I don't know if they were males, I'm adding that up with a male and a female, and then they had a youngster, or well, a young female. Okay, so maybe the young female is the one that got predated upon by the lions. Oh, it was on the fire break. Okay, so now we know what happened. There was one of them. Shame. I haven't been able to find any more tracks here because I've been talking. Let me just focus on the road for a couple of seconds. Because a lot of the leopards in this area, they like to come here and then they cut across towards Twin Dam. So I wonder if this leopard didn't do exactly that. Because that's roughly the area where Shasha's been hanging out in. He's just gone towards the Molowati and he is around the Twin Dams area and then he comes back up here. So I'm quite surprised that he was seen on Buffelshoek the other day, quite far north. And apparently the succession was that Kara made a kill, Shasha stole it from her, and Tawangumi stole it from him. So, you know, no good deed goes unpunished, as they say. Lots of flies today. Summer is definitely here. Especially with all of the added buffalo dung that is on the road. Oh, it's a helicopter. For a second there was a loud noise, and I thought it was maybe... I thought this was a leopard truck, but I thought the helicopter was lions growling, and I was like, oh, that sounds very loud even for lions. But I think the Sabi has been conducting animal census recently, just of different species, just to find out how many of each we've got. These trucks.
Alright, go ahead, man. Confirm what's your position.
Alrighty, let's have a look here. I'm gonna come onto this road.
Okay, copy. Make your way.
See where they go.
Yeah, we'll follow up for you.
Alrighty. Let's have a look here on the road. Hippo tracks. Let me see if I can find a decent one.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. We spent most of our morning following a bachelor herd of elephants on foot. We were hoping that they were going to come down here to the dam and come and drink, so we returned back to a little spot. But in the meanwhile, we managed to find some giraffes, but also decided to come for a drink and a quick snack down here. We're just going to be dead quiet, and hopefully our elephants will come back. So we just would like to provide you with an opportunity to enjoy the beauty of the giraffes, the landscape, and the sounds of nature.
Well, we wanted to show you guys some really cool tracks. I think this is the one that you've got framed on, so I'm gonna stand this side so my shadow is not in the way. So these are the tracks for a hippo. So I suspect it's the hippo we saw in Treehouse Dam all the way over there, and he's almost looks like from Twin Dam's direction, that area. So could be that he was a twin. My mic pack is doing funny things. Apparently, is that better? Okay. Seems like it's just one of those days, but at least all of the tech stuff held up for us to have a view of the lion cubs, which was amazing. So easy way to distinguish hippo. A lot of people tend to confuse them with the rhino. You see they'll have 4 toes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th toe over here. And then he's just been stepping. There's 1 to here. Sorry, 1 foot here and then another one there. So it's just been coming from that direction, slowly walking flop, 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 into Treehouse Dam. So it's nice to see where it's actually come from, because I don't think I've had hippo tracks in this area before, but I suspect maybe what happened is he came from there, or he was somewhere around there feeding, and then he just came and carried on and found his way towards Treehouse Dam, which is not bad. I'm gonna... There's a big blanket on Wendy, and then I feel like I'm quite high up. It's quite a feeling to have such a visual from here. It seems like Jonty's actually following up on those male leopard tracks, so I'm not going to get in the way and disturb his tracking, because I'm sure he's got a plan and he's got an idea of where he is. Let's just have a look at Treehouse Twin Dam, see what's there. Oh, that's being attacked by flies, but while I swat them off, let's head over to Jonty for an update.
Welcome back, everybody. So I've just went for a little walk to try and find out where the tracks of this young male leopard have gone, and it's quite tricky. So I'm actually looping back around. We kind of looped where his tracks had crossed the road, but I think what I want to do is go back and check the watering hole. We're probably going to bump into Ali. If she's found tracks, it could be the ones we're looking for, because I think this is Twin Dam we're going to. It's not far from where the leopard tracks cross the road. Morgan and I were just saying, it's starting to, you can feel the sun getting a bit warmer, so hopefully this leopard might be lying down somewhere, so you kind of shift your focus. When it's a bit cooler, you're hoping that he's going to be moving and walking, so you're kind of checking roads, game paths, places like that. Whereas now I've just checked anywhere where there's a bit of shade, on top of a termite mound, these dry riverbeds, in the shade, in a tree. In a tree would be pure gold. Continue this tracking mission. Let's have a look at our upcoming expedition that's going to be happening in the Masai Mara 2022.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. I hope that you enjoyed that little clip on the morrow. I'm just also again thinking about Maasai giraffe now while I'm watching our own southern giraffe, what we're seeing over here. Originally there was 9 different species, or subspecies, my apologies, of giraffe, and they've been lumped from a single species into 4 different species now. Each of those original 9 subspecies all has their own unique coat patterns by which you can identify them, which makes it quite interesting to go and see all the different patterns. I'm just going to sit here a little bit longer and we're just going to watch our own giraffe and see what they're going to get up to. Good morning, Jack, and welcome to the show. Yes, they do. A few mornings ago, we actually had one vocalizing at us, forming some grunting sound as it detected us on foot. I've also heard them bellowing when they've been taken down by lions. I remember a few years ago, we were very fortunate to see a giraffe being taken down by a group of lions. It was hiding on the side of a culvert and suddenly came out onto the road and pounced on this giraffe. The sounds that came out there was quite amazing to hear, even although it was such a unique sighting in terms of becoming so gruesome that in terms of a giraffe being taken down. So yes, they can vocalize, although most of the time they're actually quiet. Unlike their very close relatives, which is known as a okapi, which we find in West African forest, which occurs in thick forested areas, obviously, which is more dependent on vocalization rather than visual communication, as that our typical giraffes make use of. They're still there at the back of that thicket. It seems that they're busy feeding there, and hopefully they'll come down to come and drink. Also in the distance, we just heard some branches breaking. It might be that our elephants that we found earlier on foot is definitely going to come down to the waterhole. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. We've also been joined by a new pair of Egyptian geese. It seems that they've taken over the territory of a pair that left here with the 9 chicks.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
It's day one of the annual South African Guide of the Year competition, and our first foot into this competition this morning is all about tracks and signs.
We're going to call you in one at a time. Just look at it, the information will be there.
Our 5 guides have been tasked by the judges at figuring out who is what is who, and where they go in the bush.
Either Franklin or guinea fowl, but because of the volume of other deposits in the area, we went with guinea fowl.
Detailing the surrounding that you need to look out for tracks. The details is very important.
Morning everyone, and welcome to Ngala. We haven't taken the morning off, we've actually been very busy. My name's Rowan, I'll be your guide behind the camera. I've got Johan. So we went a little bit north, saw the wild dogs. They did come south a slight bit, but not enough to get signal there. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this afternoon they actually come a little bit further south. And then we drove the boundary with Timbavati. We saw the white lioness's sister. She crossed over north. So I'm pretty sure the white lions are now at Shinzela, around that side in their property. And while we stopped to watch across, we could actually hear more lions calling further north and hyenas. So it might be that they're fighting over a little bit of a carcass. No idea what it is. It's not our property, so we can't drive in there. Anyway, we are on our way to go see what the rest of the pride is up to, the 2 Ross males and the cubs. So we're not too far from there now. See if there's been any changes. Maybe white dots joined them, maybe the sister with the black dot under her right eye, maybe they've joined them. So just fingers crossed, she's still okay. Like I said, we're not too far away now. It was a nice, cool morning, and it's starting to heat up very quickly. I think we are reaching a high of 32, according to the weather app. But then, according to my car, yesterday it was 35. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens. But it's been a stunning morning. Bless you, Johan. Also, lots of leopard tracks, big male leopard tracks, all the way in the east. But so far, no one has found a leopard. There's some impala on our way. See the older male in front and the younger male just behind him. And big set of horns on the one in front. Nice and tall. The one behind, only one twist. It's probably only about a year and a half old now. It's also nice to see all the female impalas around, majority of them pregnant, all of them looking very healthy. Good thing these guys are heading a more westerly direction. If they were going east, they would bump into the Pridelands straight away. It's such a beautiful animal, really. Often overlooked because there are so many of them. So as guides, we drive straight past them. It's actually a very cool look because from where I was sitting, the younger ones' face and horns were right in the middle of the older ones' horns. I think let's let them be. Let's let them carry on walking away from the lions while we move towards the lions.
Well, we managed to find the tracks again, and then we watched where the tracks went off of the property into Little Gowrie, but that is perfect. We'll just go find another one because it's that easy. Morgan and I were flipping excited because we saw a whole plethora of mammals. It took us an hour and a half to see the first Inyala of the morning, and we just saw a kudu, which was very, very good indeed, and a duiker. Yeah, look. Oh, okay, these are different leopard tracks now, coming from opposite direction. So where we're facing now, those tracks that we were following the whole morning were coming from behind us heading east. These tracks are coming from the east heading west. I think this is going to be one of those days where we're just going to drive around in circles and look at footprints. But these look pretty good. Just going to check a bit further up on the road here. I'm just trying to gauge. Some of them look very good indeed, and then some look a little bit scrappy. It's always worth following. It's so cool, like sort of different parts of the country. When I was here last, I then went to Lapalala, which is in the Waterberg, in an area that is definitely not renowned for very good leopard viewing, but they're there. And there, just following tracks is almost considered as good as a leopard sighting, but so exciting to just see that these cats are walking around. So I'm just going to go back down the road here and see where these go off, and then make a plan from there. I didn't get any of that. So while we try to figure this out, you're going to head over to Rowan at Ngala, see where he's heading.
Okay, so we have found the Birmingham Pride, or a section of them. So you can see one of the older cubs staying straight at us. Next to the older cub is the white dot lioness. Then next to the white dot lioness is another older cub. And then on the other side of the cub, I'm not too sure which lioness that is. I haven't gotten around to see her face. But then on our left, we can't really show them now. There's too many bars and everything. And the bar would be in the way, but there are the two Ross males. Then in front of us, another 3 cubs. So I'm very interested to know which lioness is lying furthest away from us. If it's the one with the scar under the right eye, or if it's the 5-year-old female. Because the 5-year-old female was here yesterday, along with the white lioness's sister, the one that we saw cross over the boundary not so long ago. How cute is this cub? Just resting on his paw. The older cubs have the most beautiful eyes. There's even a little lioness with blue eyes. And slowly but surely this cub will get too hot and then move into the shade. But for now, it's the only one with its head up. You can see it's drawing its curiosity, its attention. It just keeps looking from vehicle to vehicle. On our left, it's again the blonde Ross male. It's just lying straight in the sun, getting too hot again. Let's go off a big sigh. Actually try to see if, oh, there he goes. Too much heat. Let me try to dip my head. It's a big boy.
Good morning, stations. Can I get a phone?
Tyler, how many breakaway members are currently on Ngala that's from the Birminghams? Tyler, we haven't found the breakaway pride, so I'm not sure. We can't tell you how many members there are of the breakaway pride on Ngala. Oh, that looks comfy, hey? This lioness just stretched her big paw up, belly in the air. Oh, goodness, I think I'm in your shot. I'll probably just have to lean out the vehicle soon. She looks super, super, super comfy now. Catching a tan. So I'm really hoping that other lioness lying furthest away from us is the one with the black dot underneath the eye. Clever Rasmal going for the shade early in the morning. I think the spot he chose would last quite a while. But they haven't moved far at all. It's about 100, 150 meters from where they were last night. Then the white dot lioness, I don't know where she came from. She must have just walked in from the east. So very likely that the two Rasmos were calling last night and she could place exactly where they were calling from and just walk in that direction. Be the easiest way to find them. Doesn't look like they ate anything last night. I mean, even with this lioness lying on her back, it doesn't look too big. Shame this little cub looks a bit sad. I think it's getting too hot. Renee, he has been seen recently. He's been on Shinzela eating a buffalo with the Torchwood male for about a week now. So yeah, the young Birmingham male is perfectly fine. He's found a friend. You might even have seen the white lions this morning, depending how far north they've gone. But yeah, he has been seen on Shinzela. He's not been seen by us. We saw him about a week and a half ago, following a herd of buffalo. I'm going to try and move just a little bit further away. Shame. His gubbies on my right are fast asleep. This will give us, now that the rasmal has moved, we actually have space. We can just come sit here. That works well. There's a grumpy rasmal. See, when I say grumpy, he knows. Good morning. He's actually grown into be a beautiful male lion. I'd say he's very impressive when he comes and walks towards a car. There we go. Good night. It's quite nice. We just have a line of lions from where we're sitting now. Shreya, I'm fairly certain they have. Yeah, we haven't had tracks of male lions in the east for at least 4 days. So I'm fairly certain they've either gone into Kruger or Manyaleti. But yeah, they didn't come here to set up territory. I think literally what happened is they would have heard the Pride fighting over a buffalo carcass, got a free meal, killed a cub, injured a lioness. I don't think it was in their intention to take over the rasmal's territory. Maybe just pushing a little bit further west. There we go. Rasmal's up and awake. Probably going to move to better shade now. You can see it wakes up the cub as well. Every time the male lions move, the cubs actually want to see where they go. There we go. Oh, lots of effort in lying down. I'm going to try move around and see which lioness is lying furthest away from us. Just want to see if it is the one with the black dot behind the eye. So we'll be here for quite some time still. The blue-eyed girl.
We are busy looping around again. We found some leopard tracks that crossed it into a drainage line behind us, so we're going to loop around and see where they go. Amazing. This time of year it's starting to get hot again, and the bush sort of very dry. But you can't believe that in a few months it will all start to be transformed, beautiful lush green again.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. We decided to stay at Leopard Dam and watch our giraffe a little bit longer and wait for the elephants to come down and come and have a drink. There's two of the giraffes at the moment, both female on the opposite side. Those of you that have joined us for the first time and don't know how to separate males from females, it's fairly easy. In general, we find that females are much lighter in colour, thinner necked, smaller, and then also you would note that there's no penile sheath underneath the belly. One of the other methods that we can always look at how to assess if a male or female is by looking at those horn-like structures on the head, which is referred to as ossicones. They've got little black paint-like brush tips to the horn-like structures in females as well as in young males. However, with mature bulls, you find that it's bold on top. So a female that's directly behind the bush, that's slightly lighter in colour, seems as if she's got a bit of a bump in the stomach. She might be pregnant. That's amazing. These animals will carry actually for 15 months, and they're a ruminant with the longest gestation period. What I also find fascinating is that they give birth in a standing position, something that I would still love to see happening. One of the things that you will notice is when they do give birth and they drop the calf will actually drop to the ground, and that will snap the umbilical cord. It will also trigger it to take its first breath. That young giraffe will almost be able to stand up within the next 5 minutes or so and then start following. And that's one of the reasons why it's got such a long gestation period compared to animals that have got fairly short gestation periods and are dependent on the parents for a prolonged period of time and has to be remained hidden until that they're large enough or strong enough to eventually start moving around with the adults. For example, bushbuck, which is an antelope species which has got almost a 3 to 4 month laying out period before it can start following. Oh, we've just got a third giraffe that came into the picture a little bit further back. It also seems to be a young male or a female. We're going to hang around a little bit longer here at the dam, and hopefully the elephants will come down in the next few minutes or so. But let's go and see what Rowan is up to and what the lions are doing.
So you can actually see one of the cubs is lying down now, just trying to drink. So that is the lioness with the black dot underneath her eye. We saw her roll around now. There's still a bit of blood underneath the throat, but the swelling has gone down. So that is absolutely fantastic news. I wonder if her and the white dot lioness, it's the lioness that's lying just behind her, if they found each other, because if you look at the two of them breathing and their stomachs, they've eaten something. And they only joined up with the pride last night. And if you look at all the other lions here, they haven't eaten. So here's a cub approaching from the right. It might try suckle. Let's see. Oh, white dot's growling at it. Go greet the mom. You can actually hear the mom growling a little bit as well. I don't think she wants the cubs anywhere near her throat. Oh, white dot female is in a bad mood. Shame. Because she's been away from these cubs for, about a week now. Quite nice for them to join up again. Like I said yesterday, it is absolutely amazing how resilient lions are. You know, with the young Birmingham male fully recovering from his injury about 1.5 years ago, even more, and this lioness bouncing back from what happened to her. They don't need human help. They don't always need a vet to come fix them every time they get hurt. Nature must just be nature. Perfectly fine with fixing themselves. Very, very, very strong animals. Cute with the two cubs just lying next to them. Anita, I agree with you, which is why I do this job. Nature is wonderful. See the other cub just yawning, yawning, yawning. I might stand up and walk a little bit. Actually licking its paw and grooming its own face now. Luckily, even in this heat, cubs tend to get a little bit bored. So they walk around, play a little bit, and then sleep. Then do it again. After about an hour, hour and a half, then sleep again. Oh, shame, the one just got hit by the tail of the mother. She moved her entire head. So these two cubs actually don't belong to the female with the black dot underneath her eye. They are her sister's cubs. This is the one little male who's licking himself now, and then the female lying just behind her. And if she's going to roll over again. I think her throat must still be quite sore. She might roll over because I think there's quite a few sticks on the side that she's lying on now. But like I said, the swelling's gone down and now it's just almost a bloody patch. That one's just trying to play with a piece of grass. He keeps checking this lioness. There's no doubt in my mind they know she's in pain. Oh, big yawn. Wants to go drink. You can see it's inching its way forward, but she'll probably just start growling soon. Don't look at me. I can't help you with this. So it must be that the 5-year-old has joined up with her two youngsters again and the sub-adults. And yeah, all of them should be in Timbavati now. Lisa, you're right. And I mean, this whole litter, all three of them have like incredibly beautiful eyes, very light. So this lioness is now biting the stick away. Because I think her throat was actually leaning on it, so it might have been sticking into her throat. You could actually see her biting the stick and spitting it out, so it doesn't stick into her throat anymore. But yeah, Lisa, getting back to that, very, very, very light eyes, and oh, she's opening her legs so the cubs can suckle. Interesting. But their mother also has very light eyes, so of course it's in this litter that the other little lionesses with the blue eyes. And it's something I've never seen on a tawny lion, blue eyes. He was sniffing the air. Almost looked like he was sniffing her foot. Shame this mom can't get comfortable. She keeps moving her head. See, maybe she rolls over again. stops you in your tracks. With a show of teeth and a bit of a growl. I can hear the other one growling. Well, at least we know she can growl. It's a good sign. See the tip of her tail's also not stop moving. She's in no way as comfortable as the other lions are around her. The others are fast asleep. So actually, I think you might be able to frame up his sister, but she's just there, lying off the road, her back towards us, in clear sunlight. She's shown no sign of movement. But yeah, that is the mother of these 3 cubs with the beautiful eyes. And then, of course, the sister we were talking about a little bit earlier, the one with the black dot. She's the mother of now only 2 cubs, the youngest litter. So I'm going to leave them be, let them snooze it off, enjoy the sunlight, and then, yeah, we're going to carry on into the east. It's just very nice to know both White Dot and the Black Dot lioness is back with some of the Birmingham pride.
I think sometimes you need just to listen. So it's a kind of taking out all that other spirit and bring back wilderness and healthy. Bushwalk and trek and sign. I'm sure I'm good at that. I spend most of my time on the ground since I was a young boy, so I think I'm good with that. Actually, I'm not much nervous of any category. Just take it as it is. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on what the judges are looking at. So chances are 50-50 on my side. I'm not... Obviously, when you go for a competition, you say you win.
I've seen something I've never seen here before. Look at these cubs. One is crossing the river. It's being washed away, unfortunately, but I'm sure the mother is going to save her. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. One crossing, 2 to go.
Good morning and welcome back on Bushwalk. We're still out at Leopard Dam and our patience is paying off. Our elephants are quite close by to us. Giraffe as well as impala has come to drink, and an incredibly large herd of buffaloes have just arrived to the dam as well. We're going to do this as a silent segment as we don't want to create any unnecessary disturbance with the animals around us, because they've got incredibly good hearing and we don't want to unnecessarily spook them. Let's just enjoy the sighting. Good morning, Cecilia. Yes, it's been an absolutely awesome morning. We had elephants on foot. We've got now buffalo over here coming to drink. Hopefully some more elephants coming to drink. We've got giraffe, we've got impala, we've got some Egyptian geese over here. So much that's just coming alive in a very short period of time as the temperatures are increasing. It makes it such an amazing sighting. And we started off our morning excitingly about the bloodspoor and the interaction between the hyena and the leopard, where the hyena stole the prey from the leopard. And now to end off our morning with buffalo coming to drink is so awesome. There's also a number of oxpeckers that's on the buffalo. And I've actually noticed that there's some yellow-billed oxpeckers, which is a slightly larger but rarer of the two species of oxpeckers. There's also some normal red-billed oxpeckers as well that's also fluttering around. We can also see some fork-tailed drongos fluttering over the buffalo as well every now and then. As if they're disturbing insects, they just catch the little insects that they are warming up. Well, we're going to sit here a little bit longer and enjoy this amazing sighting. But let's go and see what John T is up to.
Okay, so this is very exciting. We have found a watering hole. And there's an impala. Yes, we have to frame it up because we haven't seen too much. Can you get it through that gap there? We haven't seen too much life. We've been following a lot of footprints, but as we came around the corner, look how lucky we were.
Exhilarating stuff.
A female impala. You can actually see some more moving in the background. But we saw a small herd of waterbuck, some warthogs. We're hoping things are going to be coming down towards the water. And we did see some lion tracks just behind us, but they're heading in the direction of the pride that Ali found this morning. So I'm presuming it's them. Oh, those waterbuck I can see far down in the back. I think what we'll do is try and get in a spot here where we can settle in with our binoculars and just see what's coming down to drink. Oh, classic. Okay, let's just go forward a little bit. Sorry, this radio is going off. It does always blow me away on how some days, and I suppose it's the beauty of being in an area that's open to Kruger National Park and animals can move, but how some days you feel like there's nothing out here. And you just have to then slow down and take in the scenery, the small things, the birds, the beauty. Oh, there's a vehicle. That's unbelievable. But what I want to do is just stop in the shade here. I just want to stop here for a second I just want to scan. Oh, there's an impala just jumped out of the bush there. So I'm just busy scanning along the water's edge. Nothing immediate bursting out, but one of my favorite things to do is come and like this. You're in a fantastic spot. The water's going to attract something at some stage, and just come and chill. If there's some good trees and you've got a hammock, put a hammock up. I drove some guests recently and they're saying that is for them what is pure gold. Have a cooler box, a couple beers or some cool drinks, bring your favorite book and settle up in the shade like this and just chill and get in the try get in the same rhythm as nature, and then just see what comes down during the day, because I'm sure you'll be spoilt. As you can see, that marula tree in the foreground. Oh, it's been hammered by some elephants. We're just going to enjoy the shade and see what comes to join us.
Well, Janti, that sounds like a great plan. I have made my way back to the lion sighting. So just trying to find actually the gears first of all, and then my way in second of all. So that would be quite nice. How's it last? First of all, and then my way in second of all. So that would be quite nice. How's it last? Good in yourself. Good, I'll see you later. Hello. Alrighty, let's head in there for a last look. Thankfully they've stayed on Juma. Good lions. Well done, lions. As we're not far from the main road, and if you've been watching WildEarth for a while, then you know boundary sightings can get a little bit on the crazy side. And then I'll just come around here. I feel like this is exactly where we went in last time. That didn't particularly work for us, so I'm gonna go a little bit further down the road just to also have the sun on our backs rather than straight into our eyes. I'm not sure what happened there, but I trust if Darren hears, he'll let me know. Out of sync, okay? Not sure what's going on with the gremlins this morning, but let's come and have a look in here. Oh, come on, Wendy, you got this. I trust you. I am struggling with the radio. I can't really copy anything. Thanks, Darren, for being my FC. Alrighty, let's have a look. I'm gonna try... Which way am I gonna try?
We found quite a large breeding herd of elephants, and that big female that you can see there, she's got interesting tusks. Her one on the right bends upwards and the one on the left goes pretty much downwards. I don't know how it bent, at what age. And then next to her, she's kind of out of view to us, is her previous youngster, and he was trying to be cheeky. He was actually trying to drink from her, so she might be pregnant again. course, pregnancy is 22 months. So maybe she's quite far along. But you can see her stomach's quite big. Yeah, now the youngster is in focus or in view again, approaching another youngster. Neither of them have tusks yet, but you can see the one on the right quite a bit larger than the one on the left. Maybe just not good genes with tusks. And further off to the left is more of the herd, just everywhere feeding. So very nice just to sit and listen to them feeding. I find it very peaceful. And all these animals rhythmically just flapping their ears, trying to cool down their bodies. Mind you, for those of you thinking when they flap their ears, it's the cool wind that cools down their body. It's not really how it works. There's a network of veins behind the ears, pumps around 12 liters of blood through the ears per minute. So as they flap their ears, the blood actually cools down, so it's cool blood pumping through the body. A clever technique. The baby's not catching our scent, so it's just lifting its trunk every now and then. A bit of a breeze coming from behind us and blowing our scent right onto them. You can see the other youngster doing the same thing. Not too far from the tented camp. So they might still feed for another hour, hour and a half or so, and slowly start making their way there, or just into the Timbavati River where they'll actually dig for water. Just below where Johan is staying. That, as the crow flies, is probably about 800 meters from here. They don't look like they've gone for a drink yet today. Of course, they would have a bit of wetness still on them. Just eating. To maintain that size, you have to eat a lot. And they don't have the best digestive system. I think elephants only really digest about 40% of what they eat. So they'll just have to carry on eating the entire day. Eventually, later on, they'll go for a drink and then just find a nice shady spot where some of the youngsters will actually lie down on their sides and sleep. The adults will probably just remain standing up or even lean against the tree or termite mound and also just rest for a little while. It's going to be much too hot for them to move around. Can you imagine all 5-6 tons of you having to walk around in this heat? It'd be hard work. Even this large female, her eyes are a little bit closed, so of course they don't look for the food they eat. They'll just use their trunk to sniff it out. Definitely pregnant. Taking both youngsters with her. Right, so while we continue to watch these elephants feeding, let's quickly take a look at the upcoming expedition in the Masai Mara.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
Success! We managed to trace our way back and find a gap to be able to come and spend the last bit of the drive with the Juma Pride. Seems like the cubs have been taken somewhere to the shade. I suspect the females gave up and eventually started nursing them just to keep them quiet. And the males have also moved up, the 2 Avoca males, and it seems like it's just 1 adult female and a bunch of youngsters, to be honest, just all around here enjoying the last scraps of the giraffe. So if you see to the right of the lions, that big bend, that is the leg of the giraffe, and that's why we can tell. We can see the spots and the markings of the giraffe from here. That's how we managed to identify what it is that it was. Funny that we were so convinced that they were going to come for buffalo and they found an opportunity for something else. There's still a lot of growling, as you can hear. They're just finishing off whatever's left in there, and then obviously everybody wants to get a piece of the kill. Oh, interesting. Vultures have spotted them from above as they started catching their thermals, and we've got a hooded vulture that's just been flying around. So the first of the vultures to come out. And it's interesting because their kill is in a very obvious place. It's quite open where they are, so I don't think they'll stay here in this exact position in the afternoon, but likely they will move to the shade of a marula tree or perhaps head towards where the cubs are, which I think it's just a little bit further from where we are, but we might have to then spend some time looking for them. Hopefully they'll stay on the Juma side. So much growling going on. Doesn't seem that there's too much left on the kill. I suspect just sort of parts of the body, because the males, or the 1 male that we saw walking away, had a very round belly, very big, fat, happy lion. But they all seem like they at least... epic are these lions making these noises this morning? I mean, if anything, just the audio that we've had this morning has just been a privilege to hear. It's just been so fantastic. I think the kill is about to be finished, so that's why they're getting a bit grumpier. If you saw earlier, the one at the back, the young male at the back, he just seemed to pull bits of the skin. It seems to have something there that he's still feeding on, but I suspect they're just gonna get angrier because there's not much left. So for a big pride like this one, bigger things like kudu, zebras, wildebeest, buffalo, that's likely what's going to sustain them rather than a small impala. Although if they get an opportunity to go for a nyala or an impala, they surely will. However, it's just not something that will keep them well fed for too many days. But judging by the condition of the different lions we've seen walking up or getting up and the different times that we've been with them, they all seem to have full bellies. So at least it seems like it's been a nice meal for all of them. We did come across some giraffe earlier, but I think, so we suspect that they actually caught an adult and not just a youngster, because we saw two adherence that looked very familiar.
RSA has a long history, over 90 years, of being involved and even pioneering aspects of the conservation sector in South Africa. Over that long history, we have realized that all of the issues that we are facing both locally and globally are due to human impact. Therefore, we need to concentrate on working with people, and that is what WESA does. What makes me passionate about the work that we do at WESA, and in particular the work that I engage in, is actually connecting with people. Currently the work that I'm working on is working with youth in a skills development program, and just to meet the youth and to hear their stories and to bring them opportunities that we hope will have some impact on their lives really fuels me to get up every morning. a huge shout out to the women that I work with, as well as to all the women that are contributing hugely within the environmental sector, both in South Africa and in the world.
And I turned to Shaun and I saw that she had this panicked look on her face. Either she was afraid that something had happened or she was afraid that she was going to miss out on something. But instead of her missing out on those lions, we drove up next to them and I switched off the car so that she could hear what was going on. Now, these lions had killed a kudu, and she could hear these two cubs, both 8 months old at the time, busy pushing and shoving each other out the way to get to the best parts of the meat. And the mom was lying just to the side in the shade. Now, I'd known that before losing her sight, Shaun probably knew what a lion looked like. But I really wanted her to know what this lion looked like. So for the first time in my guiding career, I started to describe to someone what a lion looked like. And I found that, I started to notice things in that lion that I'd never seen before.
You are cheeky. That was a brave decision. Amber Eyes is... That is so magic. That was absolutely wonderful. Amber Eyes just gave that cub an enormous hug.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Welcome back to Bushwalk. We're still over here busy watching the buffalo. There's also a number of other animals that came in. We have some vervet monkeys that came in to quench their thirst at first, as well as a warthog. I never knew that warthogs can consume so much water. Hopefully we'll be able to see him in a moment again as he pops out, but in the meanwhile, let's have a look at what the buffalo were up to. So some of them were actually wallowing over there. You can see that their coats are full of mud. And that has both a cooling effect, but also helps to get rid of parasites and insects that might be on their coat. Some of them are already rubbing themselves against a number of different rubbing posts and trees all around the area. So it helps to relieve that little itch, but also to let that loose mud, mud that's busy drying now, to cake off with the insects that's stuck in it. It's just always a wonderful time of the year, late September, October always, when you're coming to the end of winter and there's a limited amount of water holes around. As soon as you get here to the late morning, they always tend to pay off. There's always something or somebody coming in for a drink and always some form of interaction. There's always good chances around water holes that there might be predators as well that will be lurking around, and they attempt to actually predate on one of these animals. In many cases, when it comes to buffalo, we also check for the lion, because quite often we find that the lions will start following these breeding herds, and what they're looking for is the stragglers, the ones that are falling behind, the sick, the injured, as well as often females that are pregnant tend to fall behind and slower than the rest of the group, and those are the weak individuals are the ones that lions would normally target. We're going to hang around here a little bit longer, but in the meanwhile, let's go and see what Ali is up to.
Good morning, it's Ben. The lions are just slowly finishing off their kill. I just see them pulling more skin than actual food, and some of them have just started eating on what's left of the bones that are scattered all around this area. So I am hoping that I think there's a good chance that they'll be here this afternoon, just judging by how fat and full they are from everything that they've been eating. But they will likely move to a shady spot. This particular spot where they are, as you can see, it's quite open. There's not a lot of shade there, and there's not a lot of meat left. So I suspect that they're gonna just take a nap somewhere close by, hopefully go for water in the afternoon. And the vultures, just like as we saw that hooded vulture flying about earlier, maybe more vultures will come down and then just try to feed off the scraps of what's left. Be interesting to see if maybe a tawny eagle comes around, maybe a bateleur too. Then normally when one of them starts coming down, the rest of them start coming down here. And we're not too far from where that den was on Little Gowrie. So wonder where our hyena friends are actually. Surely they could have heard the commotion with all these lions growling the whole morning. Maybe they're looking for food somewhere else. Maybe they know a secret we don't. Although a big pride like this one, it's still a formidable force, so hyenas could have already been around here and then just seen that there wasn't too much for them to just sort of expect to steal. And then with the little ones here, lions would probably be or have been more aggressive, just to protect them from anything that might have come around. I think we've had a pretty epic drive today, just with everything that we've seen. It's been lions galore all around. So what can I say? It's the best way to start a Monday or start the week, just with some happy little things, big things, small things, all the things. Seems like they're starting to quieten down now, so I'm just gonna go silent for the remainder of our time, just so that we can enjoy the last bit of growling and all the noises that they're making. But it's been fantastic having everyone on board. Thank you for everyone's patience, and then hopefully we will see everyone on this afternoon's drive.